advocating for what our children and families need. So this is your opportunity to tell us which issues you want us to target and advocate for in terms of Black children and their families. Here's our agenda. So we'll have our organizational overview just so you can get a refresher. If you're new here, we want you to know who we are, what we do, and then we want to share with you where BCDI has started to go. And they're calling those the 8 essential outcomes for Black children, for Black child development. So we'll discuss those. And the majority of the time, we're listening to you. And so our breakout rooms will have actually 8, and you'll get a chance to choose a breakout room based on the essential outcome that interests you the most. And we'll likely get a chance to do maybe about 3 rounds, so you can go to more than one area to have that discussion. So we'll see how that works out based on how many people are attending. Just a refresher, if you're here, you already know this information, but our vision for BCDI-Atlanta, we envision a society that ensures a successful future for all Georgia's children. We're BCDI-Atlanta, but we really do serve the entire state with the mission to improve and advance the quality of life for Black children and families in Georgia through education and advocacy. We focus on ages 0 through 8. Anyone who has a Black child in their life. And I'm gonna repeat this, one of our elders shared this at a conference that they used to say, and we need to start back saying it. If you, BCDI-Atlanta, BCDI is for you. If you have a Black child, if you know a Black child, if you work with a Black child, it is for you. So we don't want you to think that BCDI-Atlanta is for people, only for people who have Black children. If you have a Black child in your life in any way, then you need to be engaging with our organization. So here are our 3 areas that we've been focusing on to reach our mission and vision: family engagement, early care and education, and literacy. Under family engagement, we've been supporting adults who work with our children, work with Black children. How do they work with their parents as well? So we've worked with early educators in childcare programs, Head Start, Early Head Start, pre-K, and elementary schools, working with the staff and the teachers alongside the parents, using a 2-generation approach, working with the families and showing them how to work with the children together. So family engagement has been a huge focus for us because you hear this all the time based on the people who are on here. The home is a child's first classroom. The parent is a child's first teacher. We want to make sure our parents know what to do, and others who work with them know how to engage with them. In early care and education, this is our biggest area because we put several initiatives in it. Not only do we help by coaching early educators in earning their degrees, there are a number of early educators who are working in the profession, but they may not have a credential. And if they don't have the credential, they can't be where we really need them to be in those rooms, leadership positions, making decisions that are on behalf of Black children and families. So we're currently helping early educators earn their degrees through education coaching. So that's one piece, the education. But we also have, and that's our Expand Early Care and Education, the Expand ECE Fellowship. We also have a Lifted Voices Fellowship, and this is our advocacy fellowship where we help early educators to do just that, advocate. Sometimes we know we want things to be better, but we may not always know how to do it. We don't really know we need help finding our voice, and we don't know who to talk to. So this is how we help through our Lifted Voices Fellowship, again, under early care and education. We want leaders who know how to work with our children in all the rooms, in the boardroom, in the legislature. We want them in the school system downtown at the district office. We want them in leadership positions, whether they're paid or volunteering, so they can support what our children need. So those are just a couple of our programs on the early care and education. And then literacy, and all of this is on these links I'm telling you, I'm just giving you a summary. The biggest part of our literacy program is cultural responsiveness, helping others know how to not just help our children to enjoy reading and learn how to read, but show them also representation. And when we say representation, we're not just talking about skin tone or skin color. We're talking about seeing people in different types of positions. So seeing men as nurses, right, who look like them, seeing people in different roles, seeing judges, seeing community leaders who look like them in different roles. So literacy is really important for us. And we already this year have given out, get ready for this number, y'all. We have given out over 3,500 children's books that represent diverse children and families. So we love what we do with our literacy program. Again, all of these links are lead to our page, including the QR code. Who's doing the work? Well, here's our current board of directors. And if you're on the board of directors, if you wave your hand, say, hey, yes. So Tatiana Elmore is our board chair. I serve as your president. I'm a non-voting member of our board as a staff member. Kedar Whittle is our parliamentarian. Debbie Hillman is our secretary, and all of them have been serving alongside me since 2018. Can we give that a rah-rah? Yes. And we also have our members at large, Dr. Keela Johnson down in Albany, Georgia. She's the high school CTE. We have Margaret McCall, who's in professional development, Brittany McDuffie as well in professional development. And we love our family childcare educators and owners. So Bridget Willis is doing a great job leading at all levels in family childcare education. So we have a great board. Here's our staff, y'all. Gosh, could not do this work without these awesome ladies. You have Sharon Hudgens-Beck, who's on. Sharon is our coordinator of programs. She serves as a program consultant with us. She helps us to organize and lead our programs in the community as an ECE expert. We have a wonderful intern who started with us this year from Georgia State University. Her name is Nina Martin. She's earning her degree in social work. There's me. Then you have Lubna Budwani. Wave Lubna is our admin coordinator. And then we have Ashley Williams, who is our operations coordinator. They help me do the work in the office, y'all, so I can get from behind this computer and out in the community doing what needs to be done to make sure our initiatives are met, our goals are met. Our membership goal is our membership is currently around 300. Our membership goal is 600. So we want you to know, first of all, you're part of this work as well. Who's doing the work? Not just the staff, not just the board, not just our intern, you as well. You are out here, you have a voice. So if you're not currently a member or you're not sure, one of our team members will put the membership link in the chat for you so you can check your membership. Please know, and a couple of you have already emailed, BCDI, effective September 6th, has a new membership platform called Glue Up. And if you are renewing your membership, then it's a different system than the email you will receive for renewal. But if you go to our membership page, our marketing team already updated it, so you will get the new link to renew your membership. So whatever date it says yours will expire in your email, you will join here and you will still be a member of BCDI-Atlanta as well as NBCDI. You are going to love Glue Up because this work we're talking about today for policy and advocacy, we'll be able to engage so much better because we'll have groups, you can start a group, you can engage with national, you can engage with other BCDI affiliates around the nation as well. So you won't feel like you're out there on an island. You can engage with all of the BCDI stakeholders. So check your membership. Well, we just finished our business meeting. We have an annual business meeting in October from 5 to 6 p.m. and we elect our board members for the next year, the upcoming year. So these are our board members and their roles for 2024. Newly elected, not even an hour old. We have Debbie Hillman, who is now our chairwoman starting in January. She is a child development consultant. We have Margaret McCall, who has moved from being a member at large. She's now our vice chairwoman because she's been serving with us and she's been around for decades, y'all. She's not new at all, but we're happy that she's moved up to vice chair and accepted that charge. Our current board chair, she has served in many roles, at least 3 roles. She is moving back into the treasurer position, which is great because her name is on a lot of documents with mine. So I'm excited to have Tatiana back in the treasurer position because she really did help me to build, rebuild, I'll say, when we got back started in 2018. She has been right there by my side along with Debbie and helping us to build. So I'm happy that she is in the treasurer role. It's going to make some of the processes go much smoother. And then we also have Brittany McDuffie, who has been on our board now for about 3 years as a member at large. She is now our board secretary. So wave, y'all, we're so happy to have you. In addition, I'm still serving on the board, again, non-voting because I'm a staff member now as of 2021. But we also have Bridget Willis, who is on our board, yay, still. So this will be her 2nd year serving on our board. Nathan Thompson, these are 2 new members that were just voted in our business meeting tonight. Nathan Thompson, who works at the Rawlings Center. Nathan is now a member at large. And we have Dr. Keon N. Berry, who works at Quality Care for Children and Parent Services. So this is our 2024, I'm gonna go back and forth for a second, our 2024 Board of Directors. Yeah, and they're all here tonight. So we're very thankful to have them by our side. All right, moving on. So BCDI's 8 essential outcomes for child development. These came out less than a month ago, and this will be our focus for 2024. But out of the 8, we want to figure out which ones will serve us best here in Georgia. You know, a confused mind does nothing. So we don't want to have 8 different programs. We currently have 3 different program areas. So we want to choose around 3, definitely no more than 4 areas to be our key essential areas here in Georgia. So during our time today, our team will have you all in groups and you will be able to choose which group you want to go to. And I'm thinking, what time is it? It's 6:44. So we're going to start with one group and we'll be in this group until around, we can do 7. If you all get done quick, faster, you can take a little break. So about 15 minutes for this group. In a second, our team will put up the breakout rooms. You would choose one. Before they do that, I wanted to do a brief overview of the BCDI 8 essential outcomes for child development. These are the 8 areas after 2 years of research and reviewing and voting amongst the leaders and the stakeholders. These are the 8 areas that they feel are essential right now. I'll start at the top. Well, let me start at the bottom this time. I started at the top in our last meeting. I want to start with representation because we know that's the big part of our mission. And so representation, it says, sees themselves reflected in their children, in books and toys. And we're talking about Black children. They see themselves reflected in their books and toys. I'm going to the right. In the red, you see digital safety, hangs out on a safe and appropriate internet. In purple, nutrition, enjoys meals with vegetables. In the orange, education, attends a school that affirms and expands them. And the green at the top, the aqua, turquoise. Health, is born at a healthy weight. To the left, safe community, lives in an uplifting community where they can play, explore, and thrive. Under that one is narratives, is seen as a child. And then finally in green, climate, breathes clean air and drinks clean water. So in your groups, the way you would choose your group is I want you to think of, out of all of these, I want you to just choose 2. But for the first one, which one do you strongly believe that BCDI Atlanta should focus on in 2023? And I'll tell you, our leadership meeting last week, every year the presidents have a leadership meeting. We do it every month, but we have a big leadership training all day with National. And National said you could choose one of the 8. But we were thinking we definitely want to continue the work that we're currently doing in early care and education, literacy, and family engagement. So as you're thinking, which one of these, which two of these, three of these align with our work or what we should be focusing on here in Georgia? So the first group you choose, let's allow that to be the one you feel the strongest, most strongly about. And then the second one, let's let that one be the one that, yeah, I think this one too. But the first group should be the one that you strongly feel that we should focus on here in Georgia. And I'm hoping we have time for a third round, but just in case, because I know we have some professionals on here who have something to say, and I want you to have time to say it. So let's see what's in the chat. All righty. Okay. Thank you. So I have 6:47. I think 12 minutes is enough. So Ashley, if you'll open up the breakout rooms, I want you to choose the one you feel strongly about. Again, this is how you're going to help us when we pull back together as a team, figure out our focus areas for 2024. Choose one of the 8 rooms. I will stop sharing my screen so that you can see the breakout rooms open. Ashley. Okay, so if you click on the four panes at the bottom that say breakout room, it has the titles of them. And you click the one you want to join. Good, I see you joining. Join the one you feel strongly about. And we'll come back to the main room. Yes, oh my gosh, the conversations were more than I could hope for. What we want to take time to hear a summary from each group. There were 3 primary groups out of the 8 that people chose. So we want to hear a summary because many of you all had great points, some that may not have even thought about in terms of how you envision that particular outcome. So I don't have to go in any particular order. Anyone can start. Just tell us which goal, which outcome, and share a summary from your group. And facilitators, if you want to share, it's fine.
To just get us started, I'll go ahead and start with the one that I kind of facilitated in. And that is going to be lives and plays in a safe community focus point. And so anyone want to discuss that or have an opportunity to share some thoughts that we went over in that group?
I'll start off. We thought that this particular outcome encompassed some of the other areas, and we felt that this was a backdrop to all of the other essential areas. For example, we felt that children who were in safe settings in childcare, once they open up that door, the community may not be safe. So we want to make sure that this encompasses not just the childcare setting, but their home. We want to make sure that children and the childcare providers are not vulnerable to gun violence, to any of the other activities that may occur in some of these communities. So we want to make sure that it plays a vital role in thinking that if we're looking for balance, we want to make sure that there is awareness and that it's necessary to have a safe community to be able to do the others.
I love that. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dr. Bisa. Just to add to that, I think it was another point that we discussed, leaning more into that policy and advocacy space, because a safe environment and community also encompasses food, those who live in food deserts, clean water, air quality, things like that. And so some of those other 8 essentials do get swallowed up in this one, and it could be used, like she said, as a backdrop to informing the rest of them.
I love that reflection. I was simply wanted to add when all of these gun violence when all this gun violence news is reported and we see so much happen to young children, it wasn't one of our focus areas, so we didn't know what to say, if we should say anything. So Glenna's reflection was, a huge aha for me, going, oh wow, that would allow us to be able to have a voice in that space when those those situations happen. All right, who's next?
I'll go. Hi, Dr. Bisa. How are you? So in my group, we talked about representation and, how important it is for, all children to see someone that represents them. And we also touched on, with the laws, with the books, trying to erase the history of us. And there were so many important points. If anybody else wants to piggyback off of that. But, representation is so important because, I share some information from my own personal experiences, which is the reason why I'm dedicated to the work. It does make a difference. And, I left the conference so empowered. And I could just imagine if I was that young little Daniel going to the predominantly white schools, how much power I would be if I would have saw someone or had the support of someone who looked like me. So it's very important.
I was in that room, Dr. Bisa, taking notes, and it was interesting because as we're talking about these 8, like it's almost like you can't do one without the other because they are all intertwined and they do commingle. Because it was brought up that when you see yourself, when you're represented, you feel empowered to ask for what you need. When you see people, you feel like I can do that as well. But if our children, if our Black babies don't have the representation, how will they know that they can be a doctor, as you said, or a nurse? And it was even brought up about the representation even matters to the adults in the program, not just for the children to see adults who look like them, but for the adults to see people who look like them in higher places so that they know that I too can have aspirations to go on and be, a researcher, or I can go and be a consultant and start coming into programs and supporting quality. So great conversation for representation.
I love that. Great discussion group. Just like the gun safety piece that was gives us a space to discuss if we go with that particular goal, based on what Glenda mentioned from their group. From this particular group, what stands out to me, that again, I'm reflecting on what people people may reach out about that was not a part of our focus. LGBTQIA+. It has not been a part of our focus, So when you talk about representation, maybe that's a way for us to support those families who are dealing with situations with young children in their lives. We know in Georgia, teachers are getting fired for reading certain books. Even though the book may not say that in it, it just may say differences. They're losing their jobs. So again, I'm reflecting on what people ask us to do, and our answer has been, oh, it's not our focus. So, all right, next. There's one more group.
Yeah, so we have it's seen as a child, and I first let anyone else in the group to talk about it, and then I can add if there's need. Anyone from the group, please?
Victoria, you speaking?
This is Dr. Victoria. Sorry about that. We were looking at it from several angles. We touched on the historical, how young Black children have been treated historically. They were always treated older than what they were, expectations. We also talked about trauma and the trauma, how someone looks at trauma who has no experience in trauma whatsoever. And sometimes those that do, they look at trauma on children, Black children, female and male, differently than someone else might, and how do we work with that? We also talk about the differences in young children as far as their gender is concerned. The expectation for boys versus expectation for girls. We talked about milestones that are expected across all children, but for Black children, those milestones kind of disappear. They kind of get a little fuzzy there. So we kind of touched on a little bit of everything, including where do we get started? Because there's just so much going on. And so we all agree that just take one little niche, one little area, and start there and move from there.
Victoria, Dr. Victoria, will you also add the suspension and expulsion piece that you shared?
Yes, we did talk about that. Young children, we hear about expulsion in elementary and high school, but we don't hear about it so much in early childhood, and it is happening there. And I think that we're more cognizant of it because, you know, we are Black, and so we're more cognizant of it. So part of that is because we don't have enough qualified Black teachers in early childhood. And so I'm hoping, I'm praying that we are training up our young Black teachers, our next generation of teachers, that's showing promise so we can see more of ourselves, which kind of goes along with some of the other things that we've been talking about.
You all are so amazing. Wow. It giving us all insight on how big this can be, and we can bring in those initiatives that need to be discussed, and not just discussed, but you know, the advocacy needs to happen on a larger scale. It goes beyond programming. We're talking about systems, right? And you all are talking about systems here. So we're going to do another round, and in this round, yeah, I'm sorry,
Dr. Bisa. Miss Debbie has her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Go ahead, Debbie, and then I see Bridget as well. Or Bridget, we just clapping. Okay, Debbie.
Thank the piece that you just brought up is something that there was a forum on social justice conducted by National Black Child Development last week. And one of the, not Black Child Development, it was National Council of Negro Women. And one of the things that we're talking about is the combination of programming and systems. Because oftentimes we only think from the perspective of what kind of program can we do, when in fact the systems have to be changed in order to allow the programs to go forth. So as we think about, because we talk about representation, why are Black moms dying at a higher rate? Because they are not believed. Well, who is more likely to believe you? A Black doctor. Because this Black doctor comes to the situation with a different set of lens. So, because they know that people are not being believed.
And they know that I'm making it up, right, Debbie? They're not.
So if I believe you when you say I'm in pain, then I start to treat you from the perspective that you are in pain, as opposed to saying, right, especially a Black female doctor, as opposed to saying you're not really in pain. You know, well, how do I told you I'm in pain. And if I tell you you're hurting me, then you are more likely to stop hurting me. So all of these pieces are interconnected.
Yes, I love it. And I hope you all are feeling from the conversation and envisioning the direction we're going. You know, they're keeping us busy, y'all, with all these different programs. Programs are fine, but they don't change systems. right, we are coming back. We may have lost a few people, but the conversation, well, I got stuck in a couple of groups. Sorry, y'all. Well, I was in one group. I'm good. I'm good. I didn't move around. I didn't move around this time, but rich conversations. I'm hoping it was the same for you. So who would like to start? Tell us your area, your essential outcome area. Oh, there they come. And then tell us a summary of the conversation in your group. Again, the facilitator can start or anyone from the group. And I believe we only had one new group this time. Am I correct, Ashley? Or two? Two new groups? Okay, so let's allow the two new groups to go first, if that's okay. Ashley, will you tell us what those were?
The two new groups this round were the attends a school that affirms and expands them, and then the other was the healthy birth weight.
Thank you. Sharon, you were with the attends a school that expand. Okay, but you want to start with your group?
Sure. I'd love for one of the group members to start though, and I can just bring up the rear if there's any rear to bring up.
I'll kick us off, Ms. Sharon. We had a really great conversation in our group. One of the things we were talking about is just how important it is to ensure that the parents also feel affirmed within the school. Oftentimes, if parents have a good feeling about the school and they feel affirmed and excited about sending their child to school, then that transfers over to the student and their experience. And we talked a lot about how sometimes parents, they may be coming from a situation where they had traumatic school experiences themselves. So it's really important that the school takes time to get to know the families and what their needs are and, connect with them. We were talking about how sometimes, one way of communicating may not be the best way for everyone. And a school has a responsibility to really know the needs of the families and what they require in order to be engaged in the school, because that essentially is going to help the students feel affirmed.
Good stuff. Gosh. We have to take care of the people who take care of their children. And the only thing I'll say to that point, Tanasha is one of our education coaches, you all, for our SPAN ECE fellowship program. I saw Dr. Sheila on earlier, so is she. And Lakeisha, I believe, is on too. Yeah, Lakeisha McClendon is one of our coaches. What this makes me think about when you talk about the families and how we treat them. People often think BCDI works with children. And my response is we work with people with Black children in their lives. And so that's just, a great way to, it enables us to say that easily, because we don't work with the children directly. What's most important is the adults who are in their lives. Next. Is there any real to bring up, Sharon? Are we moving on to the next group?
Yeah, because we did talk about, to your point, the mindset of leadership and the people who are taking care of the children. Because if they're not in a good place, they cannot then affirm and expand the children, and so making sure that the leadership has the right mindset. Victoria talked about coming from the top and the bottom at the same time and meeting up in the middle. And so that change can happen simultaneously from both directions. And I think that probably is one of the best ways for change to happen, because when it comes top down, people at the bottom feel that it's being imposed. And when it comes bottom up, leadership feels that people are being, they're being oppositional. And so I think when it becomes that both are beginning to make these changes and they can meet in the middle, I think that's when real, effective, sustainable change takes place. So thanks for that, Dr. Victoria.
We need that that's quotable, tweetable. We need that on a slide. Victoria, I need you to email that to me so we can give you credit for that. We're coming from the bottom and the top at the same time. What? That's good stuff.
I'm glad you said that. I forgot what I said.
Well, Sharon Hepper, we need that. We're gonna have to put that on a graphic. Yes, Monday Minute, Friday. Yeah, Friday Facts. We need that. Next group. Good stuff.
I'll share for my group. We were in the group talking about safety. And so I began and we shared about not only do we discuss the physical safety of children, we need to think about their psychological and mental capacity of safety, meaning that what happened and what I see in classrooms over my 30 something years is that children are not given a voice and they're not able to execute their voice. And so this leads to a weakness in their cognitive abilities as well. Because if a child is always told, a Black child who speaks loudly, because of our culture, our demeanor, and they're told, be quiet, you're too loud. I don't want to hear that, or they're walking down the hallway, in elementary school or middle school, and they're walking down the hallway and they're laughing. And what happens is a lot of times a teacher will say, don't come in here with that noise. And that escalates. The child's not doing anything. And the child will say, I wasn't doing anything. We were just having a good time. That then spans into the teacher saying, don't talk back to me. And then what happens next? There's a write-up. And that's when you see the little child going to the office, but I didn't do anything. So that safe space of being able to be joyful, to being able to have a voice, to even talk or to share. A lot of teachers won't even engage with, and I guess, my work is with Black boys, because they feel like they're being combative in their conversations because they come across kind of harsh and hard, even with some females. I've been told sometimes, I was told when I came to this city now, Sheila, make sure when you go there, you kind of calm down when you speak. So I had to dim my light, which wasn't right. So that messes with your mental capacity. So think about our little children if they're told, be quiet, sit down, you're too loud. We don't want to hear that. You're talking too much. We carry on. You know how we do. Like I'm doing now. We carry on. And people don't understand that. So that will weaken a child. He or she now has that fear and anxiety of wanting to speak and wanting to share and just withdraw back. Again, that leads to a cognitive dissonance with them where they don't want to speak or don't want to share. And that's that self-fulfilling prophecy with that teacher. I knew he or she couldn't read. I knew he or she was a behavior problem. I knew he or she had some kind of cognitive disability when they didn't. They just didn't have a voice. They were afraid to speak. So that's the safety issue right there.
Yes, good stuff, Dr. Sheila, because this brings in the medical piece, right? The psychological and medical piece that we need for them to understand how big it is. It's bigger than you just think of the one act of, I got him out of my class or I handle the behavior, but it's bigger than that, right? So, all right, we have a couple more groups, I believe. Am I wrong? Is it two more? Yes. Who's next? This is all good. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with this information in a little bit. Bridget, are you? Yeah. Ashley, go ahead.
Can we get anyone from the healthy birth weight group?
Yeah. I'm ready to speak. I'm ready to tell my truth. No, I'm just kidding. So, I started out because I think this might be my passion one now because of my experience. And I did share with the team that the group that I do believe in the importance of pre-education prior to, delivery. And, on my second child, I had a Caucasian doctor and her goal was to deliver the baby before her shift was over. My body wasn't ready. Mariah wasn't ready, but she still decided, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and break your water so we can get the baby out before, I leave at 2:00 for my shift. Still nothing. I'm just in more and more pain. And her shift, it was an hour before her shift was about to be over. She decided, okay, well, let's just go ahead and schedule you for emergency C-section. I was adamant about not doing it. My spouse was adamant. I said, no, let's wait. And luckily, when the shift switched over, I had Black nurses and Black doctors. And they were, even some of the words there, they were very disappointed in what happened. Instead of her just being patient and waiting for my body, she took it upon herself to make the decision to, okay, we need this bed, or I need to go and meet a quota or whatever it is. But I felt that I didn't educate myself because, oh, this is my second child. I've been in early education. I'm a trainer. I've talked to people about this, but in that moment, I was just scared. You're telling me something's wrong. You're telling me I need to do this. So I'm believing in you, but believing in you almost cost me my life. So I really wish that we can get in front. You know, some people say, oh, this is my fifth baby. I got this. Yeah, but there are things have changed, and, it's best to stay as educated as possible. So I think that's going to be my new advocacy, just to make sure that our pregnant moms and their spouses and their family is also educated as well when it comes to, once you get to that doctor, these are the questions you need to ask. These are the things you need to look for. I'm in there asking for the wrong medicine. I was asking for something to induce my labor more versus the pain medicine. But she never said anything. Every time I asked for it, they just kept giving it to me. Then when the Black doctor came in, she was like, oh no, that's to help increase your inducing. And I said, well, I was asking for pain medicine. I just felt so embarrassed, so fearful for my child. But luckily she's here. She's a hoot and a half, but I'm just grateful. But I will never, ever, God, I already promised God no more babies, but I will never, ever not take advantage of an opportunity when I'm with a pregnant mom in my center or in my circle to stress the importance of, please ask the right questions before you, agree to emergency C-section or whatever the other cases may be. So I appreciate them having this essential outcome.
That is excellent. And I know, unfortunately, all of us probably have a story like that, right? Where someone in your family, someone in your life, had a similar problem with when they were trying to have their baby, or some type of issue when they were trying to have their baby that was not addressed appropriately. Wow.
And Bisa,
Yes.
Tamron Hall did a show a couple of weeks ago with women who have those horror stories. And so I think the other part of the education is the advocacy on behalf of, and doing the educating of those people who want to call themselves experts. Because all too often we blame the victim. It's your fault that the doctor didn't do what he or she was supposed to do. When in fact, was it your fault or was it the doctor's fault? The doctor was paid to perform certain duties that will result in positive health outcomes. The doctor needs to be educated. And so one of the things that I believe strongly is that we have to work together. No man is an island, no organization is an island. BCDI is not going to be able to handle this alone. However, BCDI, working with the Black Nurses Association, working with NCNW, working with like-minded organizations who are tired, fed up, and determined that this will not continue. So I think that if that's my mindset, we can't do it alone. But because we can't do it alone, we cannot rest on, well, that's somebody else's job. No, that's our job, working together.
You all have me so excited about this work. People, again, they've kept us busy, but not making a bigger difference and not changing systems. Now it's time for us to get busy with the right work. So I'm going to take one more comment before I share with you all what's next. And as I prepare for the final group to share, I'm going to give Ashley a heads up. Ashley, I'm going to ask you to talk about our project in a little bit, the one that's coming up to give people a voice. Okay. So be ready to talk about that in a little bit. All right. Last group.
The last group is seen as a child. Anybody?
First of all, Ashley is providing services to help those in need. I just want to let y'all know, in case y'all didn't know, Ashley got a little side job on therapy over there with the kids that need to be seen.
Ashley is awesome. We love her.
We had an awesome time in our group. We're talking about children being seen as children and not as adults. And a lot of times we put that, and in our community, we know that our children are taking on adult roles. I shared a story that I was much like that. I'm the oldest child. I was also the oldest grandchild, which means I was the third adult, right? And so I remember my mom actually saying to me, and when I was about 35 or 40, she says, "I apologize, you never had a childhood." And so when people see me with children, circle time on the floor, my own children, I'm probably having more fun than them, because there's things I just don't remember. I don't remember playing. I don't remember favorite toys. I don't remember favorite books. I don't remember these things because I was always the third adult, right? Take care of your, my brother is 12 years younger than me. He said, "Yes, ma'am," to me until he figured out I was his sister. That took quite a while, right? And so and you continue to be the adult, you continue to be the CEO of the family, you continue this role because of where it is, right? And so Ashley helped me to break that down. You know, I mean, she's a good guy. She only needs 12 minutes and she's got you. But what was awesome is that I love to see kids being kids. And I've had to tell teachers, you're 40 and they're 4. We're going to figure this out. They nowhere near know what you are 40 years old and you are fast. I can't do this. I'm not doing this anymore. They're 4. Let them be 4. So just like I shared to my little puppy, he big, he looked like a big old dog, and he's just 4 months, and this chew toy over here is about to drive me bananas, but he's being a puppy. He's being who he is, right? So I think is that, you know, what we shared is about us remembering that when we see a child, that they are a child, even though we know that some of them are taking care of other children when they get home. They're cooking, they're cleaning, they got tasks. And to this day, I know why I'm very task oriented. I know why I'm very organized, because even as a kid, I had to be, because certain things had to be done before mama got home, right? Certain things had to be done and placed in order to help her or help the dad or whatever that is. And so it's important for us to see children as who they are.
Love it. Oh my gosh, you guys did so great. Cindy, adultification of Black boys is a thing. Adultification of young children, Black children, is a thing. And we should own those stories, right? We should own those stories. So as I get ready, y'all, this time flew by, but let me give y'all a hand. Why? Because I know we're all so passionate and professional, and we have so much knowledge and experience, but we were able to do this tonight with those 2 rounds of group. So can we give ourselves a hand? In 2 rounds of groups, we were able to make this happen. Our team is going to make sure this information is scribed, and they're going to make sure that we organize it in a way. We'll likely do a blog post or something as well to make sure people, know which 4 or 5 we're looking at. But before I share my slides and give you guys some what's coming next, I want to start with Ashley, our operations coordinator, who has a communications background, y'all, in case you haven't figured that out. I want her to share with her, we haven't told anybody this, but this information will make you happy, because you all were already doing it tonight. When I was going around the groups, you were already doing this, but we have to capture the information. Ashley.
Thank you so much, Dr. Visa. So this is something that we came up with based off of a personal project that I am working on. And we're calling it Gather Together Insights to Child Rearing Traditions and Customs. It's really a series. Okay, so this will be multiple topics, multiple discussions around how we as a community have traditionally raised families, successful, productive people in our community, and also offering advice and advocacy and insight to how this generation can be raised and nurtured as well. And so we will be sending out a link for you all to fill out in our newsletter. It is going to be a Google form. We're going to be asking questions, getting some insight, some advice, some wisdom from the community, because as a community, especially in the Black community, storytelling is how we pass down history. Storytelling is how we advocate. Storytelling is how we connect. And so Gather Together is going to be something where we're just asking everyone to, join in. And those that we choose, we'll choose a few out of our submissions and we'll do some recording. So there will be some production involved. There'll be media releases. So you guys have to give us permission to use your images, but we'll be putting together stories that we'll put on our social media, on our YouTube, on our website, and really just showing the value of storytelling in our community and how powerful and impactful it can be, and how what was working or what worked before can also work again. So, my mama used to say, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. So just taking those things that have been essential to us as a community, our survival, right? Being very community oriented is a part of our survival. And so this is going to be an opportunity for you all to weigh in, give advice, advocate, and really go back to that traditional, ancestral tradition. Now I can't talk of storytelling. And so look forward to that. It will be out. We'll put the link on our website, social media, newsletters, and all those things, and let you guys know. We would really, really appreciate if each of you took an opportunity to fill out our questionnaire. And then again, a few of you will be chosen for some production. So you'll get to, just nice and be on camera and do all the things.
Ashley, yes, people need to hear these stories. We are not making them up. All right. So a few announcements before we close. I'm just excited about everything that we are working on to change these systems. So just had our listening session. Again, our team will make sure they are able to summarize everything that happened here tonight so that we can look at which of these focus areas will be key for us in 2024. So here's some ways to get involved. Bam, 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 bam. This is just a draft, y'all. This is just a draft. Y'all know we believe in publications. We need to flood the market with information that comes from us and people who are trying to work with our children and who have had those experiences and know what to do. So on the right, you see our 2020 Nurture Journal. It's been 3 years. Why? We didn't have funding when we started it. We don't have funding for this production, but we're going to do it anyway. So because we're resilient and we don't have to be, but that's what we're going to do it. So on the right, that was our initial journal that came out in 2020. We needed a peer-reviewed journal that focused on Black children. And so the way we saw this was that the children are going into this storm with BCDI-Atlanta on their back. So we were excited about this graphic on the right. Well, on the left, this is simply a draft. It's not, we're not saying it's a final yet, but while we were at the NBCDI conference this weekend, Sharon knows I was sending messages to the marketing team like, no, add unleashing, oh, add genius. So we were updating it because initially it was the power of Black voices, and then we changed, no, it's unleashing the genius of Black voices. And so that was inspired by some of the sessions and information that NBCDI shared this weekend, past weekend at the conference. So one of our contractor, our consultant, who she's been with me since we started Nurture. She's at Howard University now, Dr. Sandra Jeter Kalu, and she's working with us to finalize this next edition of Nurture, and it will launch in December. And we're again excited. You'll learn more about the adinkras you see in the light bulb. Those are adinkras, and you'll see them a lot this year and next year. You definitely learn about them at our summit coming up as well. So, hey, we are, again, drafting documents, publications, flooding the market with our voices as well in print, and our oral voices as well. So making sure that people hear our stories and know that we are not making this up. And here are some ways that you can help our children and families. So I just want to give y'all a snapshot of where we're going with our information that we are collecting and engaging you in your voices. You all already know about our upcoming summit. What is different this year that you need to know as a member or stakeholder? We have made this a 2-day event. Why? Because we feel like we rushed last year trying to make sure we acknowledge our honorees who earned awards like Dr. Victoria. And we've done it more than one way, but this time we want to have some fun. We want to dress up. Glenda, you inspired this because every year she's like, when we gonna get a chance to dress up? Well, February 20th to 21st, mark your calendar. You already know about the summit date, but the day before, we are going to dress up and we're going to the West Side Cultural Arts Center because we have the Anthony David. If you don't know him, Google him. He is amazing and he is so excited. Y'all, he Googled us too. He is so excited about working with our organization. You know his songs. You may not know it's him, but you know, oh my gosh, he sings that song. So Anthony David is performing with his full band, which is why we're having it at Westside Cultural Arts Center. And you're gonna love the location, you're gonna love the space. We're gonna eat, we're gonna dine. And so that is the day before the summit, that's 20th. And then the 21st, we're gonna be back at our usual place at the Loudermilk Conference Center all day for our usual summit. So this is what we're having. Here are our quarterly affiliate dates for 2024. January is pretty much similar to how we've been doing it the last 5 years, y'all. So January 9th, April 9th, July 16th. We moved the October 1 to the 29th to give us time to come back and pull everything together from the national conference. So we moved the October date back to make sure we, have some time. Moved it back a little bit. So those are our dates of 2024. You'll see them on our calendar. And so you'll know to save that space for us. If you didn't know that, we are raising 23 and 23. We're raising $23,000 in 2023 to support some of this work, these grand ideas we have. We love some unrestricted funds to fund them. And then you can always text to give at any amount. And this is the new phone number. The company who does the donor portal, they're the top at what they do, but they were merged with another company, which is powered up everything they're doing. So this is our new text to donate number. You just text donate to this phone number and you can give any amount to us. Here are ways to get involved. It's always in our newsletter as well. Yes. And here's how you can stay up to date. If you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, make sure you do. Send it out to others so they can get involved as well. At the beginning, while we have all these new initiatives in place. As I close, you all have all of this, but as I close, I will share, and Bridget put it in the chat, NBCI is still trying to decide where the 2024 conference will be. They did do a poll. Everybody's excited, but they have not confirmed, y'all. Everybody's excited because on the poll, Atlanta was the top place that people want to have a conference. And Houston was not far behind, but they had their board meeting yesterday. When I left Charlotte, they were still meeting, but we will see if they have it here. If so, we'll be ready, and they know that, but if not, we're still going. So as we close, those of you all who are new, Lakeisha, it's your first time, right? We met you at the...
Yes, it is.
Quick word, I think you and Daniel, if he's still here, let's say a quick word and you guys close us out.
Well, I have really enjoyed this. I was looking forward to it. I enjoyed meeting everyone this past weekend. It was my first conference and I'm just really excited. Just really excited. So I enjoyed tonight and I'm looking forward to being back. And special shout out, everybody's been so sweet, everybody. But special shout out to Tatiana, just a sweetheart from the beginning. So I already feel a part of the family. So very nice meeting everyone and thank you for having me tonight.
We adopted Lakeisha and her husband this weekend. Daniel, close us out. And while Daniel's talking, if you could come on camera, please do. We want to take a, we always like to take a picture, a community picture. So Daniel will close us out with the final word. Daniel.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. This was my first time here, but this was my second conference. I went last year when it was in DC, and this was also my first time doing a training at the conference. We did a training on intensive family engagement on Sunday. Miss Virginia, it's good to see you. I met Dr. Bisa back in the summer when I did train the trainer training with her. Everyone has been so nice. I had a good time at the conference, and I look forward to whatever the future may bring. Getting more involved and seeing what I can do, where I fit in, you know, finding my niche. So thank you, Tatiana, for sending me the information on Sunday before we left to head back to Atlanta. So yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much, all of you all. I wanted them to especially share because they were at the conference this week. Let's take a quick picture. Anyone else who was new, please come back and join us. Don't let this be your final time. You are our family now. If everyone will look at your dot, we want to take a quick family photo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Have a great rest of the week, and we will be in touch. Thanks for coming.